We have to remember that the journey isn't linear. It's not like you start on your holistic clear skin journey and everything's going to be smooth.
Start watching your patterns, start listening to your thoughts, start writing them down. And I promise you, if you can't figure out a pattern, we definitely can. And that's how we get deeper into the understanding of you. Most people don't understand themselves.
Don't give up on your body. Like, please, 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 like your body, it loves you. It wants to feel good. It wants to be acne free. And when you give up on your body because it's not happening quick enough, you're really disconnecting from that partnership that you have with it.
It's not about looking at, oh, come join the Clear Skin Solution. It's 6 months and I'm going to have clear skin. It's not about that. It's about, I'm going to set myself up and I'm going to learn the whys and the hows so that I can be successful going forward. I'm going to document my skin progress. When you do that, it's going to avoid discouragement during slower improvement phases.
Cris Brown, I think this could be one of the most popular episodes we will ever do. There are some hot topics, but I feel like this is such a big question that we get from, new people on Instagram and DMs, clients. So we figured we should dedicate an entire episode today to how long is it going to take to clear up my acne? Because this is a really big question. And I feel like there's a number of factors here that I want to break down before we get into why it takes time to clear up your skin. So as many of you that have been listening for a while know that we run the Clear Skin Solution. That is our 6-month acne nutrition coaching program. And I feel like a lot of people have this misconception that because, say, we operate a 6-month long program, that's exactly how long it takes to clear up my skin. That, this is a magical number. At the magical 6-month mark, all of my acne issues are going to be gone. That's how long it takes us to teach the foundations of acne clearing, to start getting into the body systems, to start making movements in the organs, in the gut, in the liver, make those shifts in order to allow the body to start self-healing. Do people clear up their skin in 6 months? Absolutely. I would say about 65% of our clients clear their skin up in 6 months. But just because you get to say that 6-month point and your skin isn't magically clear doesn't mean it's not working for you. It just means that your body needs more time. We also live in this very instantaneous society, right? We have Uber Eats, we have Amazon Prime. We want everything as quick as possible, 10-second reels. We have a short attention span. I love my Prime. I love my Uber Eats, and I love my quick reels.
This is how we know it's proven.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not judging you. I'm in this world as well. So we just have this mentality that everything needs to be done now. And if it's not done now, it means it's not working.
That they're doing it wrong. They haven't hit the mark, right? So
what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, and it might absolutely be 0 that you're doing wrong. It could be that your body is saying, I need more time. I need some more love. I need more attention. It's like that child that is nagging on your pant leg saying, mom, right? It's annoying.
That's my house every day. So we get it, right? Like, you want your skin cleared up yesterday. It's impacting how you feel about yourself. It's impacting how you show up in your day as a mom, a partner, a friend, a colleague, whatever those roles are in your life. We get it and we know how badly you want this. But I would never want somebody to give up on themselves because it's not happening quick enough and have that kind of shiny object syndrome of, oh my gosh, well, no, I saw the supplement over here. I'm going to switch gears. And 2 months later, I saw this over here. I'm going to go and try this. When you keep making these quick adjustments without the proper guidance, you aren't, again, giving your body the time that it needs to self-heal. So, Cris, let's go through why the body takes time and what are the factors that we really have to consider.
Your body is resilient. Right now, you're living and breathing, you're listening to us. How is that possible? Your body is doing it by itself. It's automatic, just like your heart pumps automatic. Your body will always try to maintain survival. That's what it does. When we look at survival, here's the other things. If we're super stressed or we're chronically inflamed or whatever it is, that's going to take precedent. It's like, I have to make dinner, but I don't have groceries. Okay, well, where's the precedence there? Where's the importance? Next time I'm going to make sure I have groceries, but for now, I need to go to the grocery store, right? And then you look at the timelines and you're like, well, how quick does that have to be? And you know what? I have to go take Frankie over to hockey, and I have to do this and I have to do that. So you see how that's going to then dictate what you're going to eat, right? The body is the same, exact same system as you trying to meal plan with nothing in your fridge. It's about time, but time to self-heal versus 6 months. Come join the Clear Skin Solution and I will be eradicated of all acne in 6 months. Well, it doesn't work like that.
There's no timeline, right?
That's what I want everybody to understand. There's no timeline. And other people, we have clients and they work with other practitioners, and we'll find out, oh, I've been put on a progesterone cream from an acupuncturist. I've been taking spironolactone for 2 weeks and I didn't want to tell you. I switched up all my skincare products because I didn't like the ones that were recommended, and I didn't realize they were triggers, right? Things happen. So all of these factors are going to play a role in how the body responds. And I mean, these are just different circumstances. Other people follow everything to a T and their face is like, to them, right? Because it's not 100% clear. But acne is unique. That's what everybody has to understand.
Yes.
As you are unique, your acne is unique. So timelines don't exist. Once you get rid of the timeline, doesn't mean you have to get rid of your goal to be acne free. Because for some reason, timelines and goal setting, they're together, which naturally makes sense, because in a business project, for sure, you're going to launch, you have a timeline, you launch it. They want it so bad. And then what happens? You think about it, you think about it, you think about it, you want it, and then you don't realize you're stressed. And then the body is trying to put out these fires on the inside. It's no different than a cut on your finger. Same thing. Your healing time is going to be codependent on what else is going on inside the body and where your body needs to put its attention. Is my big long roundabout to everything.
It's so important to remember that you don't want to put a timeline on your body, on your healing, because there's so many factors that are involved in your acne. And this is why acne is such a complex thing to get rid of and clear up, because of those factors. It's not as easy as, oh, it's just this one thing. You have to consider things like, what is your complete medical history? Literally from the time of conception up until this exact moment in time, all of those things that have happened to you in your life, from the sicknesses you've gotten, the medications you've taken, the vaccines you've had, these stressors you've had, the emotional traumas, food poisonings, prior diet. People are like, oh, well, no, like I've been eating clean for 5-10 years. I'm like, well, what were you eating like in high school? What different types of, antibiotics did you take? There's so many things to consider. And then we're looking at, well, what are those different root causes? Are you dealing with gut issues? Do we have methylation issues? Do we have heavy metals? Do we have hormonal imbalances? What is happening alongside also your current lifestyle? So are we dealing with chronic stress? Are we dealing with anxiety and mental health? Are we dealing with, eating well, but also having fast food and inconvenience foods? Like there's so many things to consider. So this is why when people are like, oh, well, how long is it going to take to clear up my acne? Well, I don't know, because your body and your health history is so unique from one person to the next. We've had clients come into the Clear Skin Solution, clear their skin up beautifully in 3 months. And we've had clients come into the Clear Skin Solution and it's taken 3 years for them to clear up their skin. Is the 3 years far and few between? Absolutely. But I think it's still important for you to know that there are those people out there that it's going to take months, if not years, to clear up their skin.
Absolutely. The other factor is environment. What is your environment at work, at home, these types of things? And are you supported? Those factors also play a role. And that can be as simple as you have a little business idea and you pitch it to your spouse and they're like, oh, well, you know what? Do you really have time for that? That shoots that little bit of hope, that motivation, that drive, right? Because what happens is we get into our brain, because our brain is so beautiful when it wants to be, and so detrimental in other ways, that you just sit there and what happens? It's like, well, now you're going to tell yourself all the reasons why your partner's accurate, right? Same thing with acne. This is why I always love to use different analogies and not just acne. Because when you see it in different contexts, you're going to start pulling in the patterns in your life where we're repeating it, because it's almost like we allow the same patterns to happen, right? Really nice people tend to get walked on sometimes, right? Why? Because they want to service, they want to help, they want to appease. And then, Katie, what happens if somebody is constantly in service to other people? Do they get burnt out? I would say 50% at least of acne sufferers have a service-like personality where it's I do a lot for other people.
They do a lot for other people, and they're very type A. We have a lot of type A acne sufferers.
Would be the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, in service, everything for everybody else. Some days I forget to brush my teeth because, somebody else needed me, kind of thing. And then we have the I type A's where it's like, oh, you don't like the rules, move out. Right? I mean, of course, we have the in-betweens too, because someone's going to say, I'm not either one of those. Okay, let me run your HTMA. I'll tell you what you are. But either way is that root cause, right? Like you said, whether it's the gut, the hormones, detox, overload, all of these have to be addressed, including how you're supported, your environment. It's not just, how many times do we say it's not just about nutrition?
It's about everything, your lifestyle, like you said, your environment, your support system. And, when we're looking at those different root causes or different, I want to call them different imbalances in the body. So, we could be looking at leaky gut, candida, SIBO, parasites, poor liver detoxification, stagnant lymphatic system, stagnant kidney flow. We can be like, there's so many things to consider.
Autoimmunes, triple burners, poor blood sheet, like
blood sugar, adrenals.
Oh my gosh.
PCOS, estrogen dominance, like thyroid. We could literally sit here and list things that need to be considered.
At the end of the day, add to cart.
Yeah, add to cart. But each one of these things is going to take time, patience, and consistency. So when you're working with the body, we're not just running through and thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to take this probiotic I saw on Instagram, and I'm going to take this hormone balancing supplement that this 20-year-old influencer recommended me, and I'm going to do that for 90 days, and I'm not going to eat gluten and dairy, and my skin should be solved. Incorrect. I'm going to lay it out there. And why is because we need to do this in a systematic way. One, you need to be knowing, well, what's actually happening in the body. This is why we do functional testing like an HTMA to see what types of imbalances we're dealing with. And then you're able to put together the proper roadmap and plan to get there. So let's say we first need to get your digestion moving and your blood sugar stabilized. We're going to be doing that for probably a minimum of 30 days. And that's just doing small tweaks to your day-to-day. We're not even adding in big gut protocols and big liver protocols. It's small little things to get the blood sugar and digestion working. And you may be thinking, oh, well, that's not fun. I want to go and do other stuff. Well, we can't skip ahead because we are building an acne house. We need a foundation. Then we need to put on walls, and then we need to put on a roof. We cannot skip the foundation and walls just because we want to go to the roof of the hormones. Nothing's going to stand up. It's all going to fall through. So, at minimum, you want to be spending 30 days on that. And then let's say you have gut issues that you need to be working through. We have this big gut overgrowth. Gut protocols, we generally do for a minimum of 90 days. So right there, you're already at 4 months of work. And we haven't even gotten into, say, liver and hormones. And then we're going to be adding on, say, some detoxification work. That's another 30 to 60 days. So you can see how all of these things that we're working through take time.
And codependent on how you respond. So we are constantly reassessing. This is why we don't group coach in essence. We don't put you into a pot. You would have a dedicated coach so somebody can actually monitor the progress and keep records and do all these wonderful things. Because at the end of the day, all of what you want is what we want. That's amazing. Now, if somebody hasn't had, if someone is chronically constipated and their normal bowel cycle is every 3 days or every other day, I will tell you, there is no smile better that we get on an updated photo of somebody that says, I am having a daily bowel movement and it isn't hard, or it's not runny, or it's, and I don't have bloating. So these things are also, remember, each one of these changes don't discount, because that's part of your self-healing. That's saying, oh, I'm no longer bloated. The body's responded. I'm having daily bowel movements. The body's responding. I'm sleeping through the night. I'm not waking up. I don't have afternoon crashes. Body responding. I have sustainable energy. Oh my gosh, I don't need caffeine to get through the day. Body's responding. So The other quick little thing is it kind of goes together and we can break them out, but quick fixes don't work and patience is key. Right?
That's my acne healing trifecta: time, patience, and consistency. Those are the 3 things you need.
But
time,
come
patience,
on,
consistency.
It's not fast enough.
It's not fast enough. I get it.
Yeah. So if it's not fast enough, then what? Then we start searching for other avenues because it's not working. And time after time after time, by about month 5, when a client comes into the program and their acne healing journey isn't where they want it to be, because a lot of the time it's where it wants to be. They can appreciate that they've had a positive journey and self-healing and all of these wonderful things. But if it's not where they want to be, at 5 months, we start to panic. I'm only in here for 6 months. What am I going to do? It's not where I want it to be. That is not going to assist anything. We do appreciate that that is a natural cycle. However, then it goes back to, what did you expect to happen in the first 30 days? What did you expect to happen in 60, right? So if your expectation is to have clear skin in 6 months and you don't get it, then somewhere down that line, you're going to chalk it up under the failed column. Failure, let me be very clear. Failure is only when we give up on ourselves. That failure is not an F word I like, but failure is not something even when we're teaching and training coaches, failure is not an option. Why? Because every day somebody responds to a coach's DM. Every day somebody drinks their water. Every day somebody realizes or notices a pattern or a habitual trigger that they've been doing and didn't realize. That's called sustainability. So every day in 6 months, we are trying to afford you the gift of sustainability.
And it's true, right? Is you don't, we've said it, we'll keep saying it, is you can't put that timeline on it. So I love that you brought up that the way you know that your body is responding is you're sleeping better bowel movements, energy, all of those things, because your skin is generally going to be one of the last things to clear up, because to your body, it's not important. Your body is the important things to your body is that it's digesting and absorbing food, because that's fuel. Your body wants to be able to have that fuel. It wants to be able to be in that state of homeostasis. So it's cleaning up and doing the things, wanting the liver to filter. It's wanting the hormones to flow better. Yep. And that's why the skin is going to take the longest, because you need all of these body systems and organs running well and running well together in order to get that clear skin.
With the mind, let's just remove, we'll talk about stress probably later as its own little topic.
Well, guaranteed. Of course, we always do.
However, one thing I just want to weave in here is mindset and patience. Oh, they don't like to be some days they're best friends, other days they're fighting, next day they're sharing their eyelash curler, the next day they're plotting their demise. That is what happens between these two. Why? Again, because we have to watch our thought patterns. So patience gets poo-pooed because our thought system takes over.
Yeah.
But do you want $1 million tip right here? Start watching your patterns. Start listening to your thoughts. Start writing them down. And I promise you, if you can't figure out a pattern, we definitely can. Mm-hmm. And that's how we get deeper into the understanding of you. Most people don't understand themselves. I don't know if people agree with that or not. They're like, no, I really understand. No, not till you're about 35 to 45 do you start to allow yourself to become you. Everything's almost an image of you or a preconception of you or a precondition of how you grew up. Mm-hmm. Please, please, please. Part of the patience is when, how many times have you heard me say this? When you say, God, give me patience. He goes, okay, sure. You have acne.
You have acne. You want patience? You get acne.
Right? You are being listened to, and acne is not fun. However, you're going to be delivered the message. I say, thank goodness you have acne. And thank goodness you're getting that marker, because a lot of people go through life, ignoring internal issues, no acne. And you know what? Guess what? We work with them too. Right?
And that's one of my favorite things that I hear clients say, because I've said this time and time again that I'm actually grateful that I had acne. And I know when I say that, it triggers a lot of people. They're like, yo, no, Katie, I am not grateful for this. What are you talking about? And I love now when we have clients come on the podcast or we're talking to them at the end of their time with us, then they're like, okay, when you first said that, I kind of wanted to like throat punch you a little bit. But now I get it. Now our clients are saying, I'm also grateful I had acne because I probably wouldn't have addressed the imbalances in my body and improved my health in this way had it not shown up on my face. Right? Because so many people, if you're dealing with like migraines or you're dealing with stomach issues or joint pain, whatever it is, these are these invisible things that you can just like kind of ignore and keep going on with your day. But when you're dealing with acne and you're staring at the face every time you see a reflective surface, it really lights a fire under your butt to figure out what's happening. And when you're working to clear up your acne, you're rebalancing your body systems. And when you do that, you're actually reducing your risk of disease and illness later on in life because your body is working well. So the fact that you took the time now to get everything working well, you're really setting your health up for success in the long run. So that's what my favorite part is. It's not just about the acne, it's about your life as a whole.
Yeah. And to summarize this, because this is huge, patience also involves your entire body system, not just a thought, right? So sustainable skin improvements, they are going to take as long as it takes for your body to lower the inflammation, to recognize the triggers, to stop being insulted with the triggers, and to then self-repair. So if you want a timeline, there's your timeline.
And don't give up on your body. Like, please, please, please. Like your body it loves you. It wants to feel good. It wants to be acne free. Mm-hmm. And when you give up on your body because it's not happening quick enough, you're really disconnecting from that partnership that you have with it. So reminding yourself that the time it takes is worth it. And we've had so many clients say that. They're like, Katie, it didn't happen as quick as I wanted to. I thought I was going to be in, that 65%, my skin would be clear at 3 months. But I'm so glad I didn't give up on myself because it was so worth the journey. And I actually, just before this podcast recording, I did an interview with one of our clients and she's like, I'm so happy that I did this because I'm a completely different person. I came in for my acne, but my mental health has improved. I'm a happier person. I'm a better nurse. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mom. I'm showing up for my family and my friends. She's like, the transformation I expected is so different because my skin is clear, yes, but the transformation I got was so life-changing and I'm so glad I stuck with it.
And that's the thing. And that's what you want. I appreciate that acne is what you don't want. However, the whole body system, when you start getting pieces of the whole body system, mm-hmm. you are going to be so excited. You have no idea what you've been missing, mm-hmm. right? So just remember, quick fixes don't work, right? It's not going to be those products that are promising overnight results because those can damage the skin long-term, like the actual topicals. Supplements, you need to know if you can absorb them first or if you're even deficient in them before they're of value to the body. Are you absorbing them? Not just that, quick fixes don't work. You want to know why? Because it's marketed to everybody.
As a blanket approach, and it's everywhere on social media, right? It's mm-hmm. these influencers that are getting paid to promote this, detox supplement, this detox tea, this whatever. And everybody's thinking that, oh, this is the one thing that I need. And it's all of these quick fixes. Like, so because I am an acne nutritionist, obviously my feed is the algorithms filled it with all things acne and skin. And I actually get so irritated and frustrated when I see these like posts being like, clear skin overnight, have glowing skin by the weekend. And it really irritates me because it's setting people up for failure. It's making them think that they can get their skin cleared up quicker than they will. And then when they don't, they're in this like loop of despair where they have hope and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. So they crash back down and like, oh my gosh, I'm hopeless. Nothing's going to work. And it just really destroys a person's confidence that they're ever going to be able to have clear skin.
And back to the failure comment.
So when we're looking at, the acne journey as well, we have to remember that the journey isn't linear. It's not like you start on your holistic clear skin journey and everything's going to be smooth. It's going to go from point A to point B. It's a beautiful sunny day in the car. You're listening to your tunes, the sun's shining. Does that happen? Occasionally, but more often the journey is not linear, where there's going to be, construction on the road and you got to take a detour, or maybe static on the radio and you have to sit in silence for a while, and then it starts to rain, but then it's really beautiful and nice and all the things are happening. That's the same thing with your acne journey. Is there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be flares of your symptoms, whether it's flares of your acne, new symptoms pop up, old symptoms arise, because as the body purges, as the body starts to rebalance, it's letting go of all of these toxins that it's been holding on to. It's trying to, it's almost like that scale, right? Where it's trying to get back in that state of balance. It's like, oh, we went a little too far to the left. Let's course correct over to the right. So your body is going to be going through flares and purges and adjustments during this period. And I would never want someone to say, have a flare of their skin, or, oh my gosh, I have my bowel movements changed, or, oh my gosh, I got a headache. Remember that if you get to that flare point of symptoms and then you panic and stop what you're doing and go back to the beginning, you are constantly going to ping pong between the beginning and the flare, because what you really need to do is properly work through the flare, allow the body to purge and to adjust to get to that other side and to keep going.
Yeah, I love that, because it should be a temporary skin purge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen temporary skin purges last 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, how was that a temporary? Because it didn't continue. The thing is there's a bit of the aggravation, these types of things. So whether we call it the Herx reaction, whether we call it, initial detox phase, whether we call it, whatever we call it, the body, and I've seen it where people come in with relatively, let's say, quote unquote, clear skin.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we get the pictures, and if I'm working with a coach, I'll be like, I would love you to be very transparent that this is a purge case.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And their coaches are trained on that. And what's a purge case means we can physically see the acne almost underneath the skin barrier. Mm-hmm. And it's there. So we already know that the spleen is congested. We already know that the lymphatics is congested. We already know that the detoxification is sluggish. So naturally, whether it's you even come in eating all the beautiful things, when we start to make adjustments through the recommendations and then you apply them, the skin will naturally do what? The body goes, okay, you're not part of the plan. You need to go. Mm-hmm. And it's already at the pore. So why would your body now want to bring it back through the system, back through the liver, detoxify it through the kidneys, and away we go? Mm-hmm. Nobody would do that. That's like extra work. It's temporary adjustments. It's about watching what you're promised. It's about understanding all of the things we just talked about. Because, for example, we know that gut healing isn't instant, right?
Right. It's like I said at the beginning, at minimum 3 months for, like, an example, Cris, right, is let's say someone comes in with H. pylori, they have leaky gut and SIBO. Let's say they got all that going on. Yeah. We probably are going to focus on just the H. pylori for 3 months. And that's just say one individual thing. It's like, okay, we've eradicated the H. pylori. Now maybe now we have to go after the SIBO. That's going to take another 3 months. So just reminding yourself that depending on what you're dealing with, gut protocols can take 3 months. Maybe we do 3 months, we take a break, we come back, we do a different one. It's this layered approach that you have to go after, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I did a 3-month gut protocol. Like, why do I have to do this again? Because there's layers that need to be addressed.
Yeah, you can't just go, especially watch the flare, right? So our goal is not to flare you. That is not our goal. We're not like, hey, let's just get it to purge out and we'll be done with it. No, we don't like that. Instead, what we need to understand is when you go into a system and you nurture it and you love it, you still have to provide it sustainable practices, because it's not done healing. You've given it the hand. You fall down on the ground and somebody comes and gives you a hand and helps you up. You're still not fully stable. You fell. Slightly embarrassed, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So these are the things. So as we do this, just know that it almost sounds repetitive, but really we got to watch how the body adjusts, and you will not know how your body's adjusting if you don't have the means to understand that it's adjusting. Right? So why do you expect yourself to know all the things? Right? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Now, when we're looking at whether it's like the gut, right? So the gut can take anywhere from 3, 6, 12 months to rebalance depending what's going on. Like I did a gut microbiome rebalancing protocol last year and it was 6 months. I spent 6 months working on just my gut. And then when we're going into the detoxification systems, the liver, the lymphatics, the kidneys, we want to also be giving that time to be opening up those different pathways, to be excreting the toxins, to be refiltering the hormones properly.
Absolutely. And it's co-reliant on the gut functioning. So here's the thing. We do the gut, we help you off the ground. You're a little rocky, a little unstable still, you're recomposing, a little embarrassed. Okay. Then we move into, you start walking away, or we move into, say, hormones or liver or lymphatic, whatever it is. The body then starts to go through that little bit of detox, for lack of a better word, fair? So the gut then still gets a little bit under the weather. So it's like the cold that never forms. You just kind of feel like you got something there. So it's a nice little balancing act to nurture the entire systems, because I do appreciate that everybody that comes in thinks it's hormones. And we'll give it to you. We will give it to you. It's absolutely hormones, but I'm not confirming, I'm not denying that it might not be the androgens.
But here's the thing about the hormones, right? Is everybody comes in thinking, I have hormonal acne, it's just my hormones, I only need to work my hormones. Sure, their hormones are absolutely at play, but they're not the only thing at play. And for the majority of our clients, we don't even need to touch their hormones when we do so much gut and liver work, because the health of your hormones, I feel like I should just record myself and hit play, because I say this so often.
Same. Yeah.
Is the health of your hormones rely on the health of your gut and your liver. So Your gut is responsible for manufacturing and regulating so many of your hormones. So if your gut microbiome is off, your hormones are going to be off. So this is why when you take this hormone balancing supplement, sure, maybe your symptoms go away, but what happens when you get rid of that? Well, your symptoms come back, because it's just been acting as a band-aid, because what you really needed to do was rebalance your gut's microbiome. And then from the gut microbiome, we need to be looking at, the detoxification system, because your liver, your kidneys are responsible for filtering so many of your hormones. So that's why I like to explain it as the acne clearing house. Foundation is your gut. Walls, detox system, hormones, roof. So this is why you can't just go and skip to your hormones, because there's no walls or foundation to hold it in place. Everything's going to come crashing down. And when we work on balancing the gut and, flushing out the detoxification systems, it gives your hormones the things it needs in order to self-balance and self-regulate. Is there instances where there's going to be a little additional hormonal work required? Absolutely. But we want to make sure you've done the gut and liver work first, so that the hormone-specific work that you're doing really works well. And then when we're looking at the hormones, at minimum, 90 days of work. This is how long it takes for your hormones to reset. We can think of something called follicular genesis. This is the process of how your ovarian follicles grow and mature. And this is a really key part of your menstrual cycle, right? And there's several different stages that happen over several different months. And this process isn't instantaneous. It can take 90 to 120 days for a follicle to mature before it's ready for ovulation. And this is why when you're working on hormonal balance, it can often take 3 to 4 months before you start seeing those significant changes in your menstrual cycle, in your hormonal health, because your body needs time. Nothing is instantaneous in the body.
Absolutely. And we always connect it with cortisol. Cortisol's a hormone. Insulin's a hormone. Leptin's a hormone. Ghreline's a hormone. So when I say I'll give it to you about the hormone imbalance, hormones at the very least need about 3 cycles. So if you're doing therapeutics and you're jumping into some kind of acne protocol, you're going to need 3 months. Well, we don't stay 3 months into any one protocol again and again and again and again. So just remember that as you're working through things, guess what else? Your hormones are working through them, just like you said, right? Estrogen, testosterone, cortisol. I mean, I can name like 1,000 others, plus neurotransmitters. So how's your mood? So this is codependent. So how is your mood? Hey, my mood is better. Fantastic neurotransmitter. Awesome. Things are working. Right? Yeah. So really consistency matters, right?
It really it's the things that you're doing consistently, right? And it's the combination of nutrition, so the food that you're eating,
Mm-hmm.
the supplements you're taking, this even the skincare you're using, but also the lifestyle habits. Lifestyle habits are so important to your health. Are you sleeping? Do you have boundaries? Are you chronically stressed? Are you overworked? Are you burnt out? Do you have things that give you joy in the day? All of these. Are you eating in a day? Do you eat food and are you eating enough calories in a day?
I have 2.5 of those with a check.
2.5.
I was going through the list and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing so well.
I know. And and this is the thing, even us as nutritionists aren't perfect, right? We're not sitting here saying, "Oh my gosh, we're perfect on all these every day." I know for me, skipping breakfast and not eating enough calories in a day is my issue. It is a me issue. So it's almost like I'm the pot calling the kettle black here, right? Is we're preaching to the choir where I'm right there with you. I get it. I understand, especially as a working mom, how difficult it is. So I never want you to beat yourself up to think, oh my gosh, I have to be perfect every day. It's about progress, not perfection.
Yes. And it's also not about excuses,
Mm-hmm. Let's add
right?
that in. Yep.
Just like, and I'll give you an example, totally unrelated. My eldest doesn't feel like school's really good for her. They don't teach her in a manner that she can learn, which is absolutely true. It's very pen to paper or fingers to whatever, keys, right? These types of things. She's hands-on, she's very engaging. It doesn't fit. So I said, well, I get it. Here's one of the two things. There's two ways we can go about this. People that are served with roadblocks, the ones that truly appreciate the end goal or what they want or love themselves fully will find a method.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are struggling, fear like mentality, or want to live on, the name blame and the faulting, they will stay where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I do as a coach, everything I do and talk and, run the coaching calls, these types of things, I tell my kids the same thing. So now after this conversation, she has one of two choices. This person isn't serving me. So what I could do is I can go fault them and stay status quo because I have an excuse, or I can pony up and decide, oh my gosh, I don't want to live like this. And I appreciate that these people don't teach me the way. So what can I do to enhance myself? Watch a YouTube video, get out and do community hours, engage in other things, have creativity outside of what you're doing, self-love, self-care, right? Self-healing, all of these different things. So that part is even about consistency. That part is really about, again, the patterns, the ideas. What do you want and how you're going to do it? Either that, or guess what we're going to do? We're just going to be into a stress-induced environment all the time. And you're going to hate it. I don't even like that word, right? So that's a big deal.
Yeah, Cris never used the word hate.
So she is not going to like school. Someone's not going to like their job. Someone's definitely not going to like their acne. And then all their attention goes to what? The hate. And we want your attention on the healing. So just food for thought.
And you want to, if you didn't listen to the episode that we did, the very first episode of this season 3, with Kathleen Cameron, Manifestation for Beauty, please go back and listen to it. And you want to, if you did listen to it again, because I think it's one of my favorite episodes we've done. And it can truly give you some really profound shifts in your skin, in your health, and in your life.
Mm-hmm. And you know what that's called? Small steps.
Small steps. That's what we're all about here. Now, we've talked about the consistency, the different, gut, liver detox. Let's kind of go into things like diet adjustment, stress, and sleep, and even skincare. So when we're looking at, because this is another thing I get is, well, Katie, I removed gluten and dairy for the past 2 weeks and I stopped eating sugar and nothing's happened with my skin. Nothing's happened. It's been 2 weeks. Why is this not going on? Diet adjustments also take time, everybody. So if we're eliminating possible triggers, remember, food is not causing your acne. Is it triggering it? Yes, but it is not a root cause, because a food sensitivity, which is what the trigger is, A food sensitivity is a symptom alongside acne. They are two symptoms of poor gut health. So when we look even further, the imbalance is really in the gut, but it's triggering there to be a food sensitivity, which is triggering inflammation, which is triggering your acne. So I never want you to think food is the cause. It is just a trigger. But there can be triggers like dairy, like gluten, like sugar, so many different foods can be at play here, because when you're dealing with leaky gut, even seemingly healthy foods can become triggers. So this is why working through and understanding what those triggers are really important. And when we start making a diet adjustments, eliminating triggers, eating better, I like to give it about 90 days before you start seeing any shifts in
What?
those
That
triggers.
is not a quick fix. That is 3 months you are asking me to do something.
I know, Cris. It's not quick.
I know. You're preaching to the choir to me, right? Because we do gut protocol. I'm on one right now. I put myself on one. Mm-hmm. Why? Well, because I can. But the thing is that's one of my benefits, right? Painters paint their homes with benefit. I nutrition with benefit. The difference is we are not, even though we have all the means in the nose, we are not protected from stress. It doesn't matter who you are not protected by the impacts of stress, because that implicates your healing. So those diet adjustments, even when we start to remove things, you will go through an initial detoxification again. Mm-hmm. So it's about slow and steady versus sprint and exhaust. That is something you have to consider there too, right? And it's not about full on, I think maybe 3 times in the whole time I've been hanging in KSW, I have given a full elimination meal plan.
Just to a client. Yeah.
Yeah. And they came in already pretty savvy. It's not the goal. The goal is we have to meet you where you are, because that is part of that stress impact.
Mm-hmm. And right? Stress is huge. It's huge.
Who's not stressed?
The entire body. Your stress is going to impact your skin. It's going to impact your menstrual cycles. It's going to impact your gut. There's so much going on in stress.
Yeah. And remember, stress is really a pinnacle, right? So not getting sleep triggers the stress. Eating a poor diet or foods that don't resonate with you is stress.
Not
eating enough calories.
Stress. Is stressors. These are stressors on the body. Think about it.
Having children, stress.
Stress.
Check. Having a cat that's nocturnal, that keeps you up in the night, stress, right? Because it's something that disrupts your natural rhythm that your body achieves. Mm-hmm. See how we're not even talking about work deadlines, or we're not talking about curriculum, extras, mm-hmm. or the Uber schedule that I have, or anything like that. The fact is small things. So stress, not having bowel movements. Hello. This is why I harp about unicorn poops. How many people message us and they're like, I had a unicorn poop. I totally know what she's talking about.
Totally know what she's talking about. We love those messages.
You're talking the language. Why? Because once you have it, you are gold medaling that right on your chest. Mm-hmm. So these are those small little things I just want you to notice. So stress impacts healing, and you have to find out your stress triggers.
Everyone's is different, right? My stress triggers are different from Chris's stress triggers, different from yours, because we all live different lives. Mm-hmm.
And there's this thing called vitality. So sodium and potassium, as an example, these are markers for your vitality, your bounce back. So when you're stressed, how do you, perceive it? How do you work through it? And what does it do if it accumulates in the body? Because stress is only toxic if it's accumulation, mm-hmm. and it doesn't basically get played out. So if you have one night of no sleep, I've been up since 2:30. There you go, everybody. Yeah, it's a glasses kind of day, right? So I've been up since 2:30. So I could have been sitting there, I have to work. And I used to, in my 20s, I used to do that. And now I'm like, all right, well, we'll see how today plays out. So what I didn't do is I made sure I did not skip meals. I made sure I'm hydrating like crazy. So this is where I couldn't control my sleep, because for whatever reason, my brain decided, hey, it's 2:30 and you just need to hang out with me a little bit. What I can do is I can set myself up during the day and likely go to bed early in hopeful, I mean, we can never take back time, but to be hopeful that I don't repeat
Mm-hmm.
the same pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to make sure I'm eating a lot of potassium like foods, and I'm going to make sure I'm hydrating to keep those electrolytes balanced,
Mm-hmm.
and all of these beautiful things. And I'm going to give myself a little more leeway and flexibility during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like these are $1 million like little tips, and why I say it is because you have to catch it.
Mm-hmm. And that last one is going to be skincare, right? We've talked about the sleep, the stress, the root causes, and skincare is the last pillar of our 5 acne clearing pillars, is nourishing skincare. And I think a lot of acne sufferers also get the shiny object syndrome with skincare. They're like, oh, add to cart, add the serum. Oh my God, I need that toner. Oh my gosh, I need that mask. Oh my gosh, I need that spot treatment. I need that new gadget. I need that. And we really like clients to, stick to their skincare routine. That's why we have an on-staff holistic esthetician that works with every single client, is having a skincare routine that works for you. And again, giving it 90 days to see changes in your skin. Because if we keep jumping around, we're never giving our skin that consistency, just like we're not giving our body that consistency.
Yeah. And it's not going to be a very quick turnaround, right?
Mm-hmm.
So outside of that, I mean, we know that stress and diet and sleep, whatever, that's going to trigger inflammation. And we nail that every single episode. So I'm pretty sure everybody gets it. One thing I do want everyone to understand is that really it's about the long-term commitment. It's not about looking at, oh, come join the Clear Skin Solution. It's 6 months and I'm going to have clear skin. It's not about that. It's about, I'm going to set myself up and I'm going to learn the whys and the hows so that I can be successful going forward. I'm going to track and document my skin progress, because when you do that, it's going to avoid discouragement during slower improvement phases.
Mm-hmm.
Do not forget your wins. You're worth it.
That's it. What an episode that was today, Cris Brown. What an episode. So remember, healing acne takes time. You don't want to be putting it, to summarize this, do not put a timeline on your healing. You can stay focused on your goal, but don't give yourself a timeline, because the body doesn't work like that. And as always, if you need support, you need the functional testing, you want all of the things, you can come hang out with us in the Clear Skin Solution. You can learn more about working with us in the show notes. That is everything for today. We'll see you guys next week on another episode of the Clear Skin Chronicles.